You have a new message from Ari. Get off of the game. It's time for dinner. Would you like to reply?
What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and today we have the brand new Apple HomePod. Now, this thing has been getting a lot of press recently, but I got my hands on this a little bit early, so we're gonna do a quick unboxing so you guys can know what's inside. And this thing is so look how small this is. Isn't Ari? Did you expect it to look like this?
Definitely not.
It is so much smaller than I expected. Now, with this being an Apple product, you don't get much. You get a couple of stickers, I'm assuming, and okay, you get a sticker and some paperwork, a quick start guide, and some warranty information. But for those of you who don't even know what the HomePod is, this is pretty much a smart speaker in a small compact body. It has Siri built into it, so it'll be able to answer your questions, take control of the Apple HomeKit ecosystem. But we're gonna try all of those things out in just a bit. Okay, so we don't need this box anymore, and this is pretty much it. This is the HomePod. There's not much to it. It's got a really tiny form factor. One thing to note though is that the power cable is actually built into it. So this is not something that you can just detach. It's built into it, and it looks pretty long from what I can see. But yeah, this is the cable. It's got some pretty decent length to it, and it's actually covered in this cloth-like materials. Now, one thing I do want to do is compare it to the other smart speakers that are out right now, just to give you guys a size comparison. And in the world of smart home speakers that have voice assistants, that can control your smart home products, and that can answer any questions, play music you ask for, these are the things you're gonna be looking at. We've got the Amazon Alexa. This is the second generation. Of course, the HomePod is over here, and we've got the Google Home Max. But yeah, this is just a quick size comparison so you guys can see the best speaker that each of these companies offers and how they stack up in size. But now it's time to go ahead and set this thing up and show you guys all the different features that it has. All right, guys, so here we've got our HomePod. This is the little setup that I've got going on for it right now. Right now, you'll see that it has a white light that's blinking at the very top. That's indicating that it is ready to get paired. And just like anything that has a W1 chip like the Apple AirPods or the Beats Studio Wireless 3, you can just get your phone next to it, and then you should see a little indicator showing that it's ready to get set up. So here we've got it here, tap the button, and we can indicate where we actually have it. So this is, we'll call it the living room. Continue, we'll enable personal requests. We of course want Siri on here. Agree to terms and conditions, all the good stuff, transfer our settings. And that, guys, is pretty much the setup process. Now, something that's pretty cool about the HomePod is that it can detect where it's placed, so there's no need to find the optimal placement for it. So some people... I do this for y'all, man. Malice, Nicholas, this a remix. I guess I touched it by accident. So if it's against a wall, it'll be able to detect that. If it's got things near it, it detects that as well. And then it sends the audio directly towards you in the best way possible after its analysis. And what's great is that there's no special setup process for this. It's constantly doing it with the A8 chip, and it does it within a few seconds. Now, one good thing about having Siri built into the HomePod is that it of course can read the messages on your iPhone and notifications. So I can say something like, "Hey Siri, do I have any new text messages?"
You have a new message from Ari. Get off of the game. It's time for dinner. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
Give me 15 more minutes.
Your reply to Ari says, give me 15 more minutes. Ready to send it?
Yes. Now that's awesome because I don't even have my phone nearby, so being able to tell Siri to send off a message like that is super convenient. And what's great about that is I don't even have to put down the controller to do it. So just bought myself 15 more minutes. Okay, so this is pretty much how I would use the speaker. While I'm working, getting footage, I'd have some music playing in the back. What's great here is I don't have to pull out a phone or anything. I can just kind of speak to Siri and have her play some music for me. So I can say something like, "Hey Siri, play this year's Grammy nominees."
Playlist the 60th Grammy Awards nominees now playing.
Do you feel that?
Sounds great.
That's clean. That's clean audio right there. Hey Siri, set volume to 80%. That's That's impressive. Hey Siri, pause. Now what's pretty interesting is that you guys saw that Siri listened to me at 80% volume. I'm gonna test it out and see if she can hear me at 100%. She's got 6 microphones built into her so she can pick up my voice, even though some loud music is playing. So let's see if that works. Hey Siri, set volume to 100%. Hey Siri, pause. Nice, nice. When we're talking to our Amazon Echo, we usually have to yell over her to make sure that she can hear me. So that is awesome, because I wasn't even close to it and she still heard me.
I'm glad I could help. Sorry.
Oh, you heard Alexis say something. I'm glad I could help.
I know, she's getting feisty.
She did not help. Now, the HomePod also acts as a HomeKit hub, so that means you can activate any HomeKit-enabled smart home device like lights or your locks. So I can say something like, hey Siri, activate kitchen.
Kitchen. You got it.
Now, I actually use these colors for another video, but I can say, hey Siri, activate kitchen time.
Kitchen time.
And
You
now
got
we're-
it.
And now we're back to some normal lighting. And now this is what you call a scene within HomeKit. If you have a bunch of HomeKit enabled devices, you can set them up to activate and do different things like change different colors or turn on or turn off whenever you have your scene set up. So you can go down into the app and actually customize that, but you can do it based on whatever you have available to you. So I've been using the HomePod for about a week now, and I know the big question is it actually worth picking up? Well, if you're not on an iOS device, you don't even have to consider it because it will not work for you. The HomePod only works with iOS devices, so whether that's an iPhone, iPad, or even an iPod Touch, those are the only devices that it's compatible with and will allow you to set it up. Which is pretty unfortunate because I think that this is an awesome speaker with some great sound quality, technology, and hardware inside of it, but it isn't compatible with everything, so it really does limit who can actually use it. But if you do have an iOS device that's compatible with it, I think you can expect the same Apple experience that you do with most of their products. Something that's really easy to get into, works really well, and obviously has some awesome hardware to go with it. And you guys were able to see how quick and simple the setup process was, how impressed I was with the overall sound quality, and even how well those mics worked when the music was blaring at 100%, still picked me up with no problem, and even being in a completely different room, Siri was able to hear me, which was a little freaky, but it goes to show how good those mics are. And not only can you control the HomePod through voice commands, but there's also a touch panel at top with volume controls, and you can even hold down the sensor to call up Siri. And while I personally think the hardware on the HomePod is top notch, minus the exclusion of an aux port, it does lack a bit in the software department. And as you'd expect, Siri is the voice assistant for the HomePod, but this is more like a watered down version of Siri than the one you're used to on your phone. For instance, if you're big on using your online calendar, Siri won't be able to check any events that you have coming up or make any new ones, which is kind of puzzling considering it's Siri. That's what Siri is all about, really, just being that personal assistant. But you're not able to do that with the HomePod just yet, but I'm absolutely sure that that's something that's going to be coming out with a future software update. And it's just a little bit surprising that we're not seeing this feature with the launch. I gave Google Home the same slack for not being able to check calendars as well. That came with a future update, so there's no surprise that there's going to be one coming for the HomePod. Now, something that I like about the HomePod is that you can ask it to read or answer some of your text messages, but one thing that was kind of surprising was the fact that you can't actually ask Siri to go ahead and make a call for you. That's something I think, of course, will come in a future update, but that would have been nice to have at launch as well. And from what I can tell, Apple focused on creating something that excels at its primary function, which is playing music. The HomePod does that very well while still having smart functionality. But in order to take advantage of the HomePod and all of its greatness, you are going to need to be pretty deep in the Apple ecosystem, from having an iOS device to set it up and get it paired with, to also using the Apple Music listening service. You can of course send music from other streaming services over to the HomePod, but you won't be able to call up Siri and have it play music from something like Spotify. But as of you guys watching this right now, the HomePod is officially available at $350. And as somebody who loves audio, I really like what Apple did with this thing. The engineering that went into it to make it sound like this, and to be able to be placed anywhere whenever you want and get the best sound quality out of it, is really impressive. So if you're looking for a smart speaker that looks good, doesn't take up a lot of space, and has amazing sound quality, this is something to take a look at. That is if you're on iOS. Let me know with a comment down below if you plan on picking one up. If you guys want to see a comparison video between the HomePod, the Amazon Echo, and the Google Home, let me know by hitting that like button down below. and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace.